being a Sunday, we meet and we talk about matters health, how we can live a longer, healthier life. And today we are talking about a very serious issue, the issue of our heart health. And there are people who have a phrase that goes like, you have to be as serious as a heart attack. A heart attack is one of the most serious things that can happen to anybody. And this is a disease that sneaks up on you. There are not so many obvious signs that somebody is going to get a heart attack or get heart problems, high blood pressure, and that kind of thing. And that makes it even more lethal because it sneaks up on you pole. And by the time you get your first symptom, you already have the disease. So today we are going to look at it and see how can we prevent ourselves from getting heart problems. And if you already have them, how can we be able to manage them and even reverse the symptoms with time, of course. So my name is Fred Gichuki. Fred is an entrepreneur in the wellness space. I joined this business to make money, but I fell in love with health. And today I'm here to talk about matters health. And I can tell you, for me, this is a very emotive subject because it happened in our family with my mom and her pressure. And I saw what she went through with high blood pressure. It used to be quite scary, quite hair-raising. For me, being a young person, seeing my mom always being rushed to hospital. And we had crisis after crisis after crisis. And I'm going to be sharing that story and how we were able to manage that situation to a point where nowadays she doesn't have a problem where pressure is concerned. So, but first, let's get into it. Let's get to see what is high blood pressure and how can we be able to deal with it. A few facts as an introduction. Now, Africa is a home for more than 1 billion people. And out of these 1 billion people, you find that cardiovascular disease is a major disease that is affecting quite a number of people. And in 2019, more than 1 million deaths were attributed to heart disease. 1 million, that's a lot of people. That is in sub-Saharan Africa. This constituted about 5.4% of all global heart-related deaths and 13% of all deaths in Africa. So you can see heart disease is a big deal. It's a big problem that Africa faces. WHO in a 2020 study concluded that 4.54 of total deaths in Kenya were related to coronary heart disease. And we were ranked about 144 in the world. So that tells you that this is a serious disease. And we want to look at what are these diseases that affect the heart so that we can just set a foundation for us to understand what we are dealing with. And heart disease can affect the structure of the heart, the valves, the muscles, the fibers, and blood supply, e.g. coronary heart disease, disease of the blood vessels supplying the heart muscle, that's coronary heart disease. The common cause of coronary heart disease results from atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis, this is a condition that develops when a substance called plaque or plaque builds up on the walls of the arteries. Now, coronary arteries that supply the heart muscles become blocked, and as a result, this can cause a number of diseases. So we are talking about cholesterol building up and then plaque coming in, and that thick fat that blocks the arteries, and which causes a few problems. One of the challenges that you get, one of the diseases, is hypertension, which means increased pressure. As you can see the diagram on my right, the first diagram shows a clear valve, a clear artery, which doesn't have plaque. But then as the plaque increases, then it starts blocking the exit of blood and the entrance, of course. And that puts a lot of pressure in the heart. I like equating this to when you take a water pipe and then you block it, you just press the nozzle you find that water will have to come out with a spray and with a very high pressure. And that's how high blood pressure actually comes in, because of the plaque that has clogged up your arteries. Then we have angina or ischemic heart disease, which is a partially blocked arteries. Then we have a heart attack. Now, heart attack is where the artery becomes fully blocked, and then you do get a heart attack. Now, heart failure also can occur. Here we are talking about damaged valves and enlargement of the heart. Then we have arrhythmias, which can result, and this can be manifested in terms of palpitations and the like. And then you have arrhythmias can be described as damaged heart fibers. So these are some of the complications or the diseases that result in the heart. Now, sometimes you hear people saying that, oh, so-and-so has an enlarged heart and that kind of thing. This is exactly what it means. As you can see, the normal heart on the left, you can see the size, you can see it is a normal size, but when the pressure builds up, then it starts accumulating fluid, and you find that now the heart becomes enlarged, and then it can actually get diseased, as you can see on my extreme right. So let's look at high blood pressure, and what does it mean to have high blood pressure, and what is the normal pressure that somebody should have. And for this, I just want to mention here that it is important for us to go in for checkups. I've found that many churches nowadays usually have health clinics, and many people don't bother to go there to do even those free checkups. You should be doing a checkup, not necessarily free, but you should be doing a checkup of your pressure on a regular basis, just so that you can preempt and avoid getting into a situation whereby you find yourself with high blood pressure. I've seen a situation where a friend of mine one day pricked himself on the finger, and the blood would not stop pumping out. It was coming out like a fountain. He had to be rushed to hospital, and they were wondering how he was surviving because of the pressure was so high. You can imagine if blood is coming out like a fountain, that pressure was too high. But he didn't know about it. He was feeling fine until that day when he pricked his finger. Were it not for that small accident, probably you'd have maybe suffered a stroke or something like that. But lucky for him, his pressure was maintained. So it's important to keep on checking and see how am I doing as far as my blood pressure is concerned. Now, blood pressure is the pressure of the blood against the walls of the arteries. Arteries carry blood from the heart to the other parts of the body. Note, your blood pressure raises and falls throughout the day based on the activities that you are doing. When the blood pressure is consistently over 140 over 90 or higher, one is said to have high blood pressure. Now, the first number, that is the 140, that is the systolic BP, blood pressure, systolic blood pressure, and it measures pressure in the arteries when the heart beats, when the heart is beating. The second number is diastolic BP, which measures the pressure of the arteries when the heart rests in between the beats. Now, a normal blood pressure should be less than 120 over 80. If it is elevated, then it should be between 120 to 139 and between 80 to 89 on the diastolic. Now, this is what it should be, but you can see that if you find yourself at 140 over 90, then you are running a risk of actually being categorized as having a high blood pressure. And if that is going on consistently, you actually will develop high blood pressure. And that might force you now to go into medication. And in some cases, in most cases, it becomes a life sentence whereby you take the medicine until the day you die. So let's look at what are some of the causes of hypertension. Some people call it HBP. Now, a deficiency in magnesium will actually contribute, can cause high blood pressure. And this can be manifested, the early symptoms, cramps, fatigue, irritability, migraines, especially consistent migraine. When you're suffering from migraines all the time and you keep popping in mara moja, you're taking Panadols all the time. Migraines are supposed to indicate that you have a problem in your body. So anytime, if you find yourself getting migraines frequently, then you need to go in for a checkup so that they establish what exactly is the problem. The issue of self-medication becomes our undoing because we tend to take a shortcut, and you feel a headache, you go and pop in Panadol. Again, you feel a headache, you take another. And sometimes the headache is just dehydration, whereby if you take a liter of water, it has happened to me so many times, I feel a headache coming in, I go and take a liter of water, I drink it, and the headache disappears. So sometimes it's just dehydration. Sometimes it could be low blood sugar, yeah. Maybe you haven't eaten since morning, and then you might find yourself getting a headache. So the issue of going to pop in Maramoja or Panadol all the time is not very, very healthy, and it might deal with a symptom of a more serious issue, like an impeding situation where you are getting high blood pressure. Then exposure to toxins. When you're exposed to toxins like lead, PCPs, and other toxins in the environment, mercury, that can also lead to hypertension. And the environment that you're living in, we are exposed to too many toxins out there. The air you breathe, the cars, the fumes are full of lead. If you're in a farming area, you're pumping chemicals to kill pests and that kind of thing. So we are exposed to a lot of toxins, and that can contribute to high blood pressure. Cholesterol imbalance. Now, cholesterol imbalance is largely as a result of our diet. Yeah, I know the other issues that can cause a high cholesterol, but diet plays a very, very important role as far as whether you have enough cholesterol, good cholesterol, or whether you have too much. And you're going to look at that shortly. Now, antioxidant deficiencies, that is where you're not getting enough antioxidants in your diet. This can be indicated by fatigue, red gums, breathing easily. This can indicate that you actually are not getting enough antioxidants. As a stress response, when you're living a stressful life, your stress is too much. Maybe you have a stressful job, or you have a stressful domestic situation, or maybe you're in an abusive relationship. This can lead to anxiety, depression, addictive behaviors. So you find that when you're too stressed, that can contribute to you getting hypertension when you're too stressed. So you need to manage your stress, yeah? Increased salt intake. This can lead to heart disease and stroke. I remember one of the things that my mom was forbidden from taking was salt, especially adding salt at the table. And in many cases, most people with hypertension are forced to go back to the original salt, the purple one. Now, what is the name? I'm forgetting the name. The original salt that you normally give to the cows, the Himalayan salt, which is actually the salt before it is processed. And it is rich in minerals and that kind of thing. So increased salt intake, adding salt at the table, and this reminds me a lot of chips and those things that we like adding salt at the table. And if you find yourself taking too much salt, then you might be setting yourself up for a heart disease. Sometimes I look at people when the food is brought on the table and you're having a meal with somebody, and you look at the amount of salt that they are putting or the amount of sugar that they are putting in that cup of tea. Whoa, I tell you, the truth is, in many cases, we kill ourselves through the fork and the knife based on the way we abuse some of these things. Because that is not even taking, that is abusing it. Because you see somebody taking a cup of tea and is putting like 5 spoons of sugar. Man, that's too much, yeah? So these are some of the things that can actually contribute to hypertension. Then there's the other issue of low pressure. Sorry, I'd gone to diabetes there. There's the other issue of hypotension. We've talked about hypertension. Now we are talking about hypotension. This is where your pressure is too low. And there's a medic who was telling me that when your pressure is too low, it's riskier than the hyper. The hyper is easy to manage. But when the pressure is too low, chances of dying in your sleep are very, very high. I remember I lost a very close friend of mine to hypertension. And he slept and he could not wake up. So it's something that can be quite a challenge. And for him, he had been taking alcohol and abusing it for quite some time. So we suspected that that could have actually contributed to that particular situation. But what are some of the causes of low blood pressure? Dehydration is one of them. Serious medical conditions, pregnancy, excessive loss of blood can lead to that. Severe infection, severe allergic reactions. These are some of the issues that can cause low pressure. And then very important, lack of nutrients, especially vitamin B, 12, folate, and iron. Lack of nutrients can actually cause low pressure. Some of the symptoms that might indicate that you have low pressure is dizziness, lightheadedness, fainting, blurred vision. Actually, your eyes can indicate a lot, because I dealt with a case of a gentleman who had very poor blood circulation and low blood count. And you could actually see it in his eyes. You could see the eyes were totally white. And even the hands, when you looked at his hands, you could see there was a problem. His fingers were very cold, and they would get numb and that kind of thing, indicating that he didn't have enough blood flowing in the body, but also his pressure was rather low. Now, confusion is one thing as well that can occur, fatigue and weakness, agitation, and nausea. These are some of the symptoms that can indicate that you may have low blood pressure. And like I said, it's important to go in for a checkup on a regular basis so that you know where you stand. But even as you're going in for a regular checkup, we are going to see what can you do as far as your lifestyle that can actually help you to avoid this disease. Now let's talk about excessive cholesterol. Now, cholesterol is a waxy fat-like substance made in the liver and found in the blood and in all cells of the body. Our bodies need cholesterol to build healthy cells, but high levels can increase the risk of heart disease. So we only need just a reasonable amount. With cholesterol, there are usually no symptoms. Only a blood test can detect whether you have high levels of cholesterol. Now, medical conditions that can cause excessive cholesterol include chronic kidney disease, diabetes, HIV and AIDS, hyperthyroidism, and lupus. Also, medications taken for acne, cancer, high blood pressure, HIV and AIDS, and organ transplant can actually cause excessive cholesterol. Okay, so what are the dangers of excessive cholesterol? It thickens blood. It leads to formation of blood clots, clogs arteries, attacks the heart. This is actually how cholesterol affects us. And as we all know, there are foods that we take that increase our cholesterol to a very great extent, especially junk food, things like chips and all those things that have too much oil in them. What are some of the risk factors, or what are some of the things that can actually lead to problems of the heart? We've talked about high blood pressure. We've talked about diabetes. In fact, they say diabetes and high BP go hand in hand. If you get one, very soon you'll get the other. So high cholesterol, smoking, physical inactivity. If we become couch potatoes, then we are running a risk of getting heart problems. Abdominal obesity. Now, abdominal obesity is a very, I used to wonder why abdominal obesity? That means that if I have a big belly, then I have a bigger chance of getting high blood pressure or diabetes or some of these lifestyle diseases. Now, I remember, I think it was a talk by Dr. Fatma Abdallah or somebody where they were sharing that any fat that is above the waist coming up is not good. But fat below the waist going downwards is good. So that made me wake up and say, okay, fine, I need to work on my belly and ensure that it goes down. My sister told me, the bigger your belly, the closer you are to diabetes. She's a medic, so I took it very seriously. And I've since been working on my midsection to make sure that it stays, I'm able to manage it. And for the men out there, if you find that you're finding it hard to tie your shoelaces, then you're in trouble, my friend. You need to do something about it. Then poor diet, eating too many fatty foods can actually cause you to actually get high blood pressure. Okay. So now let's look at our lifestyle. Let's look at some of the causes that can actually take you there and how you can be able to change your diet to ensure that you avoid getting diabetes or pressure for that matter, and that you can actually be able to live a longer, healthier life. Now, this is a lifestyle pyramid that we are given by WHO, and our company adopted it. And down here, we have physical activity and weight management, which is very key. Your BMI, you need to be checking your body mass index on a regular basis. You are supposed to be eating a lot of whole grains, a lot of fruits and vegetables. In fact, for fruits and vegetables, you're supposed to eat 9 different types of different colored fruits and vegetables. Yeah. I know when I say nine servings, somebody can go and take 9 carrots. Yeah. No, we are talking about different colored fruits and vegetables. Then you're supposed to reduce on the proteins, especially red meat. And you're supposed to eat more white meat. We are talking about fish and kienyeji chicken. And you're supposed to cut back on pork, beef, goat meat, and the like. In fact, goat meat, for your information, has more cholesterol than the red meat. That's why it becomes very, very sweet. Yeah. Then fat and sugar. Fat, you're supposed to take a teaspoon of fat per day and a teaspoon of sugar per day. This is how we are supposed to be eating. Yeah. But is this the way we eat? The answer is no. We have successfully turned the pyramid upside down. So we tend to eat more fat and more sugar. Now, we have seen from the introduction that I did that when you're taking too many fatty foods, when you're taking breakfast, you have your sausage there, your bacon, your eggs, and these are eggs that are not free-range eggs. They are gotten from broiler chicken and that kind of thing. So when you're taking a lot of this stuff in the morning, then during the day, lunchtime, you eat your chips and your soda there. You're getting in too much in the way of cholesterol in your body. Too much fat is getting into your body. And we have seen what cholesterol can do. It can make your arteries narrow, and that can lead to high blood pressure. So the first thing we need to correct is reduce the amount of fat that you are getting in on a daily basis. Even the food that you are cooking. When you're cooking, you need to limit the amount of fat that you put in there. I've seen people, when you go online and you look at people who are doing training, who are doing podcasts on cooking, you see the amount of fat that somebody is putting on that plate. It's like he's deep frying food, yeah? And many people believe that the more fat you put, the sweeter the food. But yes, the food is sweet, but you are asking for trouble with time, of course. We've talked about sugar. Too much sugar is not good. When you take too much sugar, it is converted, stored as fat. And again, that can bring the other problems that we've talked about of the narrowing of the arteries and that kind of thing. Then proteins, we are eating too much red meat, too much. Dr. Fatma gave us a guideline, said a quarter kilo should be eaten by 12 men. That's like 2 pieces or 3 pieces of meat. And you should be eating meat 3 times a week, red meat, not more than 3 times a week. You need to give your body time to digest. It takes more than 3 days to get rid of the meat from your system. And you should minimize the amount of red meat that you're taking and eat more fish. Fish, you should take it 4 times a week. And of course, chicken, kienyeji chicken, not the broiler chicken. So we need to eat the right kind of protein, and we need to minimize on red meat. If you are taking in plant protein is perfect. Your beans and that kind of thing, that is perfect for you. So we need to reduce the amount of red meat that we are taking. Fruits and vegetables, we don't take enough fresh fruits and vegetables. Actually, the traditional plate has a spoon of sukuma wiki or greens, a lot of red meat, and a very big ugali. That's the traditional plate that is there that we tend to eat most of the time. So you find that the fruit, the vegetables are even cooked, so they don't have enough vitamins. Yeah. So we don't eat enough fresh fruits and vegetables. That is bottom line. And we know, even in our study, when we were in school, we were told that the fruits and vegetables are protective foods. They protect our body from disease. They boost the immunity, but we don't eat enough of that. Then whole grains. We eat whole grains when we cannot avoid. And many people will take githeri and say, no, me, I take githeri, so I'm okay. But the truth is, githeri has been cooked for more than 6 hours. Now, when you take any grain and you cook it for long, or anything that you're exposed to heat for a long period, you actually denature it, you spoil it, so you don't get the nutrients that you're looking for. And one of the key things that we look for in grains are the oils that are in the germ, yeah? We call them lipids and steroids. And these lipids and steroids are very, very important in our bodies. I'm going to explain in a little bit. But they are found in whole grains. So when you don't eat enough whole grains, then you find that you are asking for trouble. Your pyramid is upside down, and you can see this pyramid, the one that is on the left, in my left, which is the upright pyramid. That's a stable lifestyle. That's a stable person with a very good immunity and very, very healthy. But when the pyramid is upside down, then you actually like the gentleman at the center, whereby you look very big and strong, but in reality, it is too much cholesterol, too much fat in the diet that makes you look big and strong, but in reality, the body is not. And this can actually lead to many, many lifestyle diseases. At this point, we want to look at our founder of Neolife, Jerry Brassfield. Jerry formed Neolife 1958, and he came into Neolife basically to make money. But he had a life-threatening condition. He had asthma. He used the products of Neolife. They worked for him. And he said, these products can help so many people with different lifestyle challenges. And he partnered with Dr. Arthur Fast. They formed the Scientific Advisory Board. This is a board that ensures that our products are safe. They don't have a side effect. Arthur Fast is the man who invented oral chemotherapy. He's late now. died at the age of 94, very, very healthy. By the time of his death, he was teaching Greek tap dancing and writing 4 books. That's how healthy he was at 94. Now, the Scientific Advisory Board usually puts this SAB seal on all our products, and they just emphasize that all the products that have this seal are safe for consumption, they're 100% organic and natural, yeah? And they have what we call full traceability, which means that you can actually trace the ingredients from where they were sourced. And the ingredients that Neolife uses are 100% organic. They are planted in farms where no chemical has ever been used, no chemical fertilizer, and they are non-GMO, yeah? And that makes us very, very proud because we find that our products actually do what they are supposed to do. The issue of natural and organic versus synthetic is an issue that many people are unaware of. You walk into a place, a chemist, and you just buy a supplement and you take it. But that supplement that you have taken, a big chunk of it is actually synthetic. And the thing about synthetic product is that the body rejects 80% of whatever you give it. More than 80% is rejected by the body of a synthetic product. But when you take an organic and natural product like the Neolife supplements, then the body absorbs 80% of it. And that is why you find that many people who have been using other supplements and are not getting the results they are looking for, when they start taking the Neolife products, you find that now the pain disappears, they start recovering, and they start getting back their health. So that is the difference, and that is what I advise people. When you're talking to somebody and you're telling him about these supplements, and he said, oh, I can just walk into the chemist and buy a supplement, they need to be alive to the fact that whatever they're buying, chances are high and is not 100% organic and natural. And hence, most of it will go to waste. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to have very expensive stool and you still remain unwell. So let's look at some of the Neolife products. The first product that we have is called TreeNN. Now, I mentioned about the importance of whole grains, and I mentioned that in the germ of grains, we have your lipids and steroids, which are fatty acids. And those fatty acids, the role that they play is that they make the cell membrane soft and permeable so that nutrients can get in and waste can get out. Yeah. Now, if you're not getting enough whole grains, if you're not getting enough lipids and steroids from your whole grains, then your cells become very tough and impermeable. Nutrients are not able to get in, waste is not able to go out, toxins start accumulating, and this is where disease starts. When this cell starts subdividing itself, then you have 6 cells. If they're in your heart, then you have a heart problem, yeah? And this problem means that you now, even if you're on any kind of medication or even if you're eating a very good diet, if your cells are not absorbing the nutrients, then you are doing zero work because you're not getting enough absorption at cellular level. Our company brought in TreeNN. When you take TreeNN, it increases cellular absorption by more than 40%. So you find that you get more out of the food that you're taking when you take TreeNN. If you're on medication and you take TreeNN, you get better results from your medication because you are taking TreeNN than before you started taking TreeNN. If you have chronic fatigue and you take TreeNN, then you find suddenly you're waking up very energetic, psyched up about life, and the sluggishness and the fatigue goes down and you become very, very energetic, yeah? So TreeNN is an amazing product that simply optimizes membrane function, increases cellular energy production, and feeds the cell. And like I said, you get this from whole grains. And if you're eating githeri, githeri is whole grain, yes, but you don't get your lipids and steroids from githeri. The only food that will give you your lipids and steroids is that porridge that used to be made during the olden days, where you take the grains, you grind them, and you ferment them in a gourd, and you take it without removing anything from those grains. I can see recently I was in sides of Embu, and we found a lady who had made some traditional porridge, fermented porridge. It is not cooked. It is just you just ferment the grains, and then you just drink it. And we stopped, and we had gone to do business there. We stopped and we bought the porridge. We took it. It was so nice. I had to get a whole jerrycan for myself. So right now I'm in the house and I'm enjoying that porridge. And that is one of the, it's totally raw, it's uncooked. It's made from grinding the grains, the sorghum, the millet, and all that. And it's just amazing. It feels very, very good. So this is TRNN, and those are the lipids and steroids, and that's what I'm talking about. Since we bumped into this lady, and I am not sure the next time that I'm going to be going into that side of Meru. So you see, then the deficiency arises because, yes, I bought that porridge now, but going forward, where do I get it? It is very hard to get. And that is where the TRNN comes in, because now with my TRNN, I'm assured that I'm getting my lipids and steroids. And anything else that I take in terms of food and that kind of thing will be better utilized by my body because I'm taking my TRNN, yeah? Now, the next product that is important is carotenoid complex. Carotenoid complex is made from 18 different types of fruits and vegetables. Remember, I said you needed 9 different types of different colored fruits and vegetables in order to boost your immunity. Carotenoid complex has 18 different types of fresh fruits and vegetables. And if you take a can of carotenoid, the one for 90 tablets, it is equivalent to taking 115 kilos of raw fruits and vegetables. And when that happens, and that is why we say that if you take carotenoid complex, in 20 days, 3 tablets a day in 20 days, you'll have actually boosted your immunity by 37% increase in just 20 days. Now, usually we have an immunity of about 60%. So if you add 37%, you're talking about 97% immunity. If you are, we all have cancer cells. This immunity will hold that cancer cell and it will not start misbehaving. It will slow down the aging process by 44%. It slows down lifestyle diseases by 44%. So you can outlive cancer, you can outlive arthritis, you can outlive many of the diseases which would have otherwise attacked you if you had not taken carotenoid complex. So it's an amazing product. It's a product that I recommend to everybody. You don't need to be sick to use this product. You just need to protect yourself and protect your body. And this carotenoid complex also helps in burning fat because it shakes up the fat. So when you do some exercise, then you find that the body is able to burn it off. The third product is called Omega3 Salmon Oil Plus. Now, the difference between Omega3 and what is there in the market is that if you look at the ingredients in what is written in the bottle, if you go and just take one and look at it, you'll find that they will indicate 1 or 2 omega-3s that are in that particular product. Now, when you look at on my screen here, you can see that our omega-3 salmon has 8 members of the omega-3 family. So we are talking about a complete omega-3 product. And why should it be complete? Because each of these plays a role in your body in various areas. And you need to have the 8 for you to actually get the full benefits of omega-3 salmon. Now, one of the key benefits about omega-3 is that it helps to lower inflammation in the body. Uvimbe ya ndani, yeah? So if you take 3 tablets of omega-3 salmon, the big one, the 91, and you take it for 60 days, you'll have lowered inflammation in your body by 68%. Now, inflammation in the body is actually disease. Anytime you feel some sort of pain and that kind of thing, then you have inflammation in your body. We looked at the enlarged heart, that's inflammation, yeah? So when you take omega-3, in the case of pressure, it helps in lowering cholesterol and also lowering inflammation in the body. So the body is, it manages the amount of stress that is happening in the body. Then you have a multimineral and vitamin supplement, which is very rich in vitamin B complex, which is actually quite good for the heart. And when you combine these products, then you have a product we call Pro Vitality Plus. Pro Vitality Plus is actually a value pack. When you take it, it turns the upside down pyramid upright. It turns it upright, and you find that now you are more energetic, your immunity is high, and your body is functioning properly. Now, some of the benefits of Pro Vitality is abundant energy, antioxidant protection, heart health, immune strength, heart-brain function, flexible and healthy joints, clear vision, youthful skin, hair, and nails, and lifelong cellular health. So that's a basic product of Neolife. Now let's look at some of the specific products that you need to take to either prevent heart disease or even manage it if you already have it. The first one is Omega3 Salmon Oil Plus. I've mentioned and I've talked about Omega-3 and the fact that it balances the amount of cholesterol in the body, and it helps your heart to function properly, and it lowers inflammation in the body. It has so many other benefits. Talk about joints and arthritis, migraine headaches. Actually, migraine headaches in many cases are as a result of a deficiency in omega-3 oils. So these are powerful, powerful products that we all need to be consuming on a regular basis. Remember, I said fish should be taken 3 to 4 times in a week. And this will actually, when you swallow a capsule, then you've taken your fish for the day. So you can actually be able to take fish more frequently. Then we have lipotropic adjunct. These are relatively new products. It is actually very rich in B12, folic acid, and the B group vitamins, niacin, and the like. And what it does is that it helps to remove plaque from the arteries. Remember, we saw that plaque, when it blocks your arteries, that is the #1 cause of heart problems. So lipotropic adjunct removes plaque from the arteries. And it also helps in stopping palpitations. If you're getting palpitations, lipotropic will sort you out very, very fast. It's rich in vitamin B, so it is good for the nerves as well. So if somebody maybe has a stroke or that kind of thing, lipotropic will do a lot. Even the paralysis that occurs, it will help in rejuvenating that limb in case a person is not able to use their hand or something like that. So lipo is an amazing, amazing product. Then we have garlic allium complex. Now, garlic is a natural antibiotic. It's an antifungal. I mean, it has a lot of benefits. But one of the key things about garlic in this case is that it helps to thin blood so that blood can be able to flow smoothly and take oxygen to all parts of the body. The next product is vitamin E. Vitamin E is responsible for proper blood circulation in the body. It helps to convert the oxygen that you breathe in to energy. So it is good for sports people. I remember there was a time I was selling this product to Mean Machine. And the coach was telling me they would get the bursts of speed that the team was producing was quite impressive. So vitamin E is amazing. It's amazing. And it actually aids in proper blood circulation around the body. Then it's also a natural antioxidant. Yeah. Then we have fiber tablets. Fiber tablets comes in here mainly in the form of controlling the amount of cholesterol that we have in our bodies. Fiber tablets will form like a sieve and helps to sieve out cholesterol from your body. Then calcium, magnesium. Calcium, magnesium is critical in this program. because magnesium helps to strengthen the heart muscles so that the heart muscles can be able to pump blood around the body. Calcium gives you a restful sleep. You can sleep nicely, and it helps you to deal with stress. And the product actually relaxes the nerves so that you don't get too agitated, because that also will mean that you end up getting pressure issues. Last but not least is CoQ10. Now, this is a product that came in relatively recently. And what CoQ10 does is that it goes into the cell, into the mitochondria of the cell. And it actually goes to the engine of the cells, and it actually triggers it. So you find that the cells start functioning properly. Where they had slackened, they start now regenerating themselves. And by so doing, it's able to jumpstart most of our internal organs. Whether you talk about the pancreas, whether you talk about the heart, whether you talk about the brain, the reproductive organs, the ovaries. I mean, it's just an amazing, amazing product that we have right here. So this one helps now in this program will actually help your heart to start functioning properly. And it will deal with the heart from inside. It will go to the mitochondria of the cells in the heart and rejuvenate those cells. And you'll find that your pressure will start normalizing when you're using this product. So there you have it. Those are the products that Neolife gives you. Remember, they are not medicine. They are natural and organic. And at this point, I just want to mention that when I came into this business, my mom had high blood pressure. And it had really disturbed her for a very, very long period. She was a teacher, so anytime she taught a double lesson, she would actually start getting her legs swelling, and she would then start coughing quite a bit, and her pressure would be up. And she would rush, take some medicine, and sometimes the medicine would manage it, sometimes it wouldn't. Sometimes we would have to rush her to hospital. And in that process, she had started taking so many things. She was taking meat in Idawa. There are some herbs she was getting from somewhere in Donholm, and she was boiling them overnight and drinking. Then she had also started doing acupuncture, somewhere near Aga Khan Hospital. But all these things were temporary, and she was also on medication. She would be stable for a while, then something happens, and the pressure just goes crazy. And when I got involved in this business, I introduced her to these products. She started taking them religiously. We're talking about TNN, Omega3, CalMag. Those were her star products, those three, TNN, Omega3, CalMag. But she has since taken the whole range from CoQ10. She takes garlic, you name it. And what has happened, or what happened is that in 4 months of taking these products, her pressure stabilized. Now, my mom is now over 80 years. She should be 83, 84 years of age. And to date, her pressure is stable. The doctor kept reducing her medication with time. And today, she's able to live a normal life. Now, I know medics say that you cannot get healed of pressure. But if you can be able to at least live a normal life for more than 20 years, and you don't get into a crisis, your pressure is always stable. Anytime she goes in for a checkup, her pressure is stable, and she's over 80 years of age. I think that is success in the very, I mean, just using that word out there. Because if you can be able to live that kind of life, it means that you can do everything. You can achieve all your goals and your dreams without being bugged by a certain health condition. So if you know somebody out there who is suffering from a heart issue, kindly recommend these products to them. And you yourself, who is not having a heart problem, you need to start supplementing with these products now, because I am very sure that you're living on this planet, you're inhaling the toxins that we are inhaling ourselves, your diet is not as good as it should be. And even when you eat right nowadays, the food that you're getting doesn't have the nutrients that it's supposed to have, because the soils have been poisoned by chemicals. And you will not be too sure that everything that you're taking in is healthy even for you. And that is where supplementation comes in, because with supplementation, you are assured when you take a tablet of omega-3, you are assured that you have taken salmon fish, which is not toxic, which doesn't have lead and other impurities that are there in some of our fish. So that's purity and potency of that product will ensure that your body is healthy and your body is able to protect itself from disease. So if you're here and you're healthy, you don't have a problem with your heart, this is the time to start swallowing these products. Don't wait until you're sick, then you start running around. Start now. If you already have the disease, then use these products. You will be able to manage that disease very nicely, and you can live a normal life. And your doctor will keep on reducing your medication until you find that now you are able to survive without. I have seen it happen for several of my clients, and it can also happen for you. I'm not saying that you buy the supplements and then you stop taking medication immediately. No. That's not it. I am not a medic. We are not medics. I'm telling you, start supplementing even as you're taking the medication, and allow the doctor through the clinics that you're going. He'll keep on checking you. And based on what the diagnosis he'll make, you'll find that he'll start reducing your medication with time, of course. Yeah. And that is what happened to my mom. So in conclusion, 17th May, that was the World Hypertension Day. 29th September will be the World Heart Day. That is 29th of September. Prevent a broken heart, very, very important. Thank you for listening to me. You've been a great, great audience. And in conclusion, I just want to mention that for the guests who are here on this call, Neolife has a wide range of products. We just dealt with a small section of it, from heart health to diabetes to arthritis to you name it, we have a solution. And the best way to get these products is for you to register with the company, become a distributor of Neolife. Start buying products for your own use, yeah? And you can also share the same with other people. That's the best way to do it. But if perchance you feel you don't want to get involved, you don't want to become a distributor, that is still okay. You can actually get the products from the person who invited you to this call, and you will actually enjoy the products. And I tell you, you'll just naturally find yourself recommending these products to every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there, and you'll be able to save many people's lives. So we have come to the end of our session. Remember, this recording will be available slightly later today. It will be available so you can be able to share it with a friend. And if you want to know more about the business, talk to the person who invited you. He'll share the business to you. But you can also join us tomorrow on the same link that you have used at 8 o'clock, where we'll have one of our leaders, Pascal Olo, will actually be taking us through how to make money in your life. Otherwise, it was great chatting with you. I've enjoyed myself. My mission in life is to make a positive difference in people's life, to empower people, to help people live a longer, healthier life. And I welcome you to join me on that journey of changing people's lives. So this information, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend, share it with a neighbor, throw the video into the family group that you belong to, or any other group out there. Once the video comes in, just throw it in there. Somebody is going to look at it, is going to go through it, and they will be like, can I get these products? You will be able to sell them the products. Of course, you'll make money, but the person will become healthier, and you'll actually be able to save a life. So in your life, we don't make money, we save lives, and that is the truth. We give value, we give products that work, that make a serious positive difference in people's lives. And for that, we get paid, which is actually a very, very good deal. So thank you all. Thank you so much. I can see the comments on the chat. Thank you. I truly appreciate. Thank you for the compliments. Next week, we'll be back again. We'll be tackling a different aspect of health. And I welcome you again next week, where we'll be having a different speaker. We'll be talking about a different aspect of health. Make sure you invite massively. Thank you all. God bless you and have a nice evening. Bye-bye.